Melissa here, and I am super excited because I have Andrew Genovese Andrew Genovese. Is that right? Did I say it
That's it.
correct? Okay, good. And we're going to be talking about a topic that I feel is one of the most important topics that we don't talk about enough, and that is the breath and breath work. And for me, I feel like the two most powerful tools for removing trauma from the body are plant medicine and our breath. And so we're going to kind of dive deeper into this, because the truth is, not only is it when we use our breath in this kind of way, not only are we healing the traumas and the wounds from our childhood and past ancestral wounds that have been passed down to us, but we're also bringing healing to the earth. And when we bring these wounds to the surface within us to be released, we are also we're so deeply connected to Mother Earth. And so therefore, it's like a mirror effect to our earth. So we're doing this work for ourselves. We're doing this work for the earth. So here we are. Andrew, you want to introduce yourself? Thank you so much for doing this, by the way.
Hello, all. So honored to be here with you as always, Melissa, dear sister. Yes, my name is Andrew Genovese. I'm a breathwork teacher, healer, plant medicine guide. And yeah, today we're going to dive deep into breath and really just kind of touch on how people can use it, what it's doing, and really like honing in on how important it is for us to really cultivate a regular practice to move through these energies that we embark on.
Beautiful. I love it. Just really quickly before we dive in, tell me, what is your breath work practice?
Yeah, so for every day, it's different. I just feel into it. Some days I really focus on like honing in on the solar plexus. Some days I focus in on like central channel breathing, so breathing into my belly. Some days I do a different, like 7 or 8 different pranayamas of like 5 minutes each. Really just depends on what I'm feeling.
Awesome. Amazing. Yeah. So if you want to just kind of dive right in and just talk about it, why is our breath so powerful when we practice this deeper breathing technique?
Yeah. So it is wired in our DNA to be able to consciously breathe and evolve. This we've been doing it for so many years, going back to since primitive times, and all the ancient civilizations were all incorporating the breath in their ceremonial practices around the fire with different plant medicines and around eating. And obviously with the way things have gone over the last couple hundred years in particular, especially the giant shift that we've experienced since 1900, we've just become so deeply unconscious and disconnected to ourselves in every facet of life. And the breath is something that is, like, once again, wired in our DNA to help us remember who we are and remember our connection to earth, and remember that we need the bees, we need the plants, we need the trees, we need the rivers and the oceans to not be bombarded with plastics and all these things. So one thing that my guru said when I was with him in South India was that never underestimate even 5 minutes of spiritual practice, because every single time that someone sits down to consciously breathe, they calm the entire central nervous system of the planet. Because if we calm our own central nervous system, that connection of through all the beings and everything on earth sends ripples of shock waves of switching the planet from the sympathetic to the parasympathetic. So that's so profound, right? That's the drop in the ocean, the rock in the ocean that just makes a ripple for miles and miles and miles.
We are powerful.
Yes.
We were, I was camping up in Pismo last weekend, and what I do is, as we know, I spread love and light. And so everywhere I go, I bring that love and light with me. And I was just going around the campground with my drum and just like drumming all around the campground, every side. I was just like visualizing white light. And then I went onto the beach and I just visualized the whole area just filled with white light energy. And it's like, to some people that seems maybe crazy, but the truth is that is really having an effect. It's really uplifting the planet and people. And that is how we all can make a great difference right now too.
Yeah, it seems quote unquote out there, right? Because we've been conditioned or programmed to think that anything that's magical is out there, or woo or whatever. But the truth is that there's this whole existence is magic. Everything in existence is mystical, and only to the sleeper would think otherwise, because there's magic all around us. But if you are not aware and have consciousness present within you, you won't be aware of this magic. And breathing consciously is nothing short of magical, because the deep, profound states of healing and these literally altered states of consciousness that we can reach just through breathing, because our brain, we release dimethyltryptamine, which is our own natural DMT. So through accessing the pituitary gland, the hypothalamus, and the pineal gland, which is said to be the seat of the soul, it's not talked about in any medical journals because
Crazy.
they didn't want doctors to know about them, because it's supernatural. It's literally our gateway to the soul, into this realization that we are part of this giant cosmos, and that we are these spiritual beings having these momentary human experiences. That's what having this knowing of the pineal gland and its supernatural powers does. And just from breathing, we can access this, and we can meet the soul. We can meet a loved one in our life who passed recently. They can come to us. We can travel to other dimensions. We can have connectivity to all the plants and the rivers, and feel this just love by Mother Gaia. That is that's indescribable in words, right? We can go to infinite places because we are boundless, and the breath is infinite. That's what we are reaching just through this deep breathing.
Oh, I love it. It's amazing, because it's, we don't realize our power because of exactly that reason, like it's never talked about, we're never taught it, but we are beyond powerful. And like you said, we are able to connect with all different dimensions. And once we tune into that, it's like, yeah, magic is all around us. Magic is in the birds, in the trees, in the sky, in the clouds. It's everywhere, but it is tuning into that and getting connected with that frequency, which is why breath work is it's very important, because we've been so programmed since the beginning of time. If we are not practicing breath work or quieting down our minds and connecting to our breath, then we are just lost out in the program, and there's no way to connect with the magic that exists all around us. So yeah, of course, it's like the most important thing, and it's something that comes natural, but most of us don't utilize it. So yeah, it's just powerful, very powerful.
I always tell people, if you haven't dove deep into this world of breath work, there's something incredibly magical waiting for you, because it's how we are wired to heal. We are tapping into the depths of our human physiology. Source literally wired us to be these intricate, immaculate healing machines. And why I'll be teaching breath for the next 4, 5, 6, however many decades, is because it empowers people. It shows people, holy shit, I don't need to go to someone in a coat or to someone else to tell me what to do or how to eat, or
yeah, I can do it myself.
Yeah. The body knows. The body knows exactly what you need healing. It's not like you have to sit there and like, for sure, like during my ceremonies, as you know, we set intention of what we want to heal. We get really clear, but ultimately, there's this intricate healing wisdom within us. The breath is conscious. This kinetic life force that we're breathing in is a consciousness, as so are we. And so it's already been decided when we go into this deep ceremony of this 2-hour workshops that I hold, for example. It's already been decided what that person's going to heal before they even arrive that day, because once again, it's like plant medicine, where we are reaching into the cosmos, and you are going to receive. It might not be what you want, right? Because it might be really painful and really
you might not want to go there, but
you're going to be given what you're ready for, and what you're ready to heal, because again, it's all divine, and that's the intelligence of the breath.
That's exactly it. And I love what you said too about, ultimately, like our whole lives, first of all, our whole lives, we've been searching out there for the answer, for the therapist, for the doctor, for the medicine, for the whatever it is, the thing out there, the diet, the clothes that's going to set us free, that's going to bring us peace, love, and light. And the truth is that we've had it within us all along, and we have exactly what we need to, create it. So, it's like the breath. That's why I love what you do, because you're teaching people to be able to do this on their own. Like, you don't need someone out there for this work. Like, we, each and every one of us, have the ability within us to do our own inner work and our own healing. So it's like, it's so important to, be aware of the power of these tools and breath.
Yeah, 100%. And that, again, that's why it's so beautiful, right? Of course, like many people love doing private sessions with me because they need the guidance, because they can be so
Right.
deep. They're not able to go that deep without someone who understands the psyche and healing and the breath, and someone who can really like walk them through some of the
Right.
stuff that can be like really, really deep, really painful, and surfacing old traumas that, right, is like you're walking into your shadow with this unknowing of what's going to surface. But in terms of having a regular breath practice that's 10 minutes, like you can do that with me, or you can do that on your own at any time, whether that be in the morning, the afternoon, in between calls at work, or at nighttime if you have a family, once your children go to bed, to like literally stimulate that
Yeah.
central nervous system to really go into this beautiful state of just allowing yourself to receive in dream time, once you go to bed.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's really powerful. And actually, after I get off this call, I'm going to be doing some breath work.
Yeah, as will I as well before I get out of the house.
Yeah. But okay, so yeah, it's kind of like, I feel like a necessity, especially right now with what we're experiencing on the earth. Like, there's a lot of intense energy happening out
Yeah.
there. And if we are not centered, grounded, connected to ourselves, connected to source, present, fully oxygenating our bodies, then we can just so easily get pulled into all of what's happening in our external reality, which is why, it's so important to do this work. What I wanted to ask you is, on a physiological level, like, how does the breath remove trauma, like on a physiological level? I don't know if you can answer that.
Yeah, absolutely. So once again, the breath carries a wisdom and intelligence with it that, when you show up to a ceremony, it already knows what you're going to heal. But in physiologically inside the body, so many things are happening, like things that you couldn't even, like when I explain, and I know I've studied the breath for hundreds and hundreds of hours. There is a magic happening inside of you. The cells are just lit up, they're ignited, they're starting to communicate. All the cells are just, you feel this vibrating in the body and all these tinglings. That's the cells communicating. That's toxins, impurities, heavy metals that we come in contact just from taking a shower, coming in contact with aluminum and lead and pharmaceutical drugs. Our skin is the largest organ in the body, as well as we're coming in contact with 60,000 chemicals per year. So the breath is the most powerful tool that we possess to be constantly detoxing. The breath is a detox, physically, emotionally, spiritually, all of it. So the breath is making our blood more alkaline. It's making our blood, it's raising the pH in our blood. So you have to remember this when we're living, for example, in a state of fear, right? This is acidic. You're literally sending poison to your own body. When you're in a higher frequency of love, right? This is alkaline. So the breath is alkaline. This alkalinity is healing. So everything that the breath does is literally just triggering everything that is healing within the body. We literally are releasing heavy metals and toxins from our brain. That we can often feel like a lot of tingling and tightness in our jaw. So much of the time, right, we stop emotions with free will. And the emotions are just energy. They're energy that gets lodged in the body. And for so many people, they go, wow, my sister, I still just can't make sense of it. She was only 48 and she died of cancer. She used to run every day. She used to eat kind of good, but she used to be really healthy and really fit. Yeah, well, that's just physical. Just
Yeah.
because someone has big muscles and they look and they're beautiful, that doesn't mean that they're healthy within, because there is a very deep spiritual component to health. And we access that spiritual component through our breath. The breath is such a sacred, ancient practice. It's tapping into, if you were to put breath at the spider web, in the spider web in the center, it is the center of all consciousness. So physiologically, there's so many things happening in the body, but we are getting rid of heavy metals, toxins, impurities. And what does that do? It's allowing us to come in contact again that we are not separate from our soul. We are a soul. It helps us have that realization. It has us it gets us in contact with our spirit and gets us in touch to spirit, to source. So there's so many things that are happening that are simply, that I can't even begin to cultivate in words, because it enacts all these things within oneself, of just self-realization, of realizing that we are these spiritual beings, of realizing how connected we are, that we are not separate, that we are breaking free from this illusion that we are separate.
That's exactly it. I love it. I love it. I love it. We are one with all that is. Like, we are literally interconnected with everything. But truly, if we're not doing the work and we're not doing the meditation and quiet, getting our mind quiet, then we can't feel that oneness, and we can't connect with our soul in that way. But what a beautiful gift when we can finally get our mind. And it's like, of course, it's going to take work, because we've been programmed for so many years to start to really quiet down our thinking mind. But once we get to that point where our mind is getting quieter and quieter, and then it becomes so still that you're just, oh, wow, right here in this moment, in this present moment. And that's also the spot where you connect with your soul, you connect with other dimensions, you connect with past loved ones, like all the beings of light, other galaxies and planets, like all of them. The only way we can get there is from getting still and quiet. And part of the reason why I wanted to do this interview with you today was partially because of that. It's like, we really do need our breath, and it's so powerful, and I don't talk about breath work enough. And so I wanted you to come on and just like share about it. And also, with everything happening on the planet and the effect that it has, not only on ourselves, but on our Mother Earth, the thing that has given us life for our entire existence, the one thing that has given us air to breathe, food to eat, everything that we possibly need. And we just have abandoned her and forgotten about her. And so really the truth is when we connect to our breath, when we connect to our soul, when we do this deeper healing work, we are doing what Mother Earth has done for us our entire existence. We're supporting her in her healing, which is what she needs so much right now. We've taken and we've taken and we've taken, and now it's like giving back to ourselves so we can give back to the earth. So thank you for, so beautifully talking about breath work. You always speak so beautifully about all of the things you're passionate about, of course.
Yeah, I just let it flow through me. There's sometimes stuff that comes out about breath that just comes out in a podcast. I'm like, oh, I don't even know how I knew that, but I mean, I've done it in so many lives that I think information is continuing to stream through us, right? As our DNA codes are becoming activated, which again, right, we are receiving DNA activations, DNA codes are coming in, and the breath can continuously, right, just send prana throughout the entire body to be able to be literally being in our highest frequency, being a receiver to source to receive these codes.
That's exactly it. Really. It's amazing. And that's the truth of it all, really, coming back to the breath and coming back to this moment. And, it's like we're getting these light code activations where, we don't even know the power of who we are. And like what you were just saying, sometimes these things come through and you're like, oh my gosh, where did that come from? Because it's like all this knowledge and wisdom is within us. It's within ourselves. It's within our DNA, but it's now being activated. And here we are when we're opening up in that way and opening our heart. It's like we're channeling this information. Like sometimes the same for me. I'm like saying all these things. I'm like, I don't even know where this stuff's coming from. How do I even know all of this? But we have this, each and every one of us, we have this knowledge and this wisdom that's stored within ourselves. And, I almost feel like the breath work, it's like unlocking, all that knowledge and wisdom and information that's been within us all of this time. And we're able to start to tap into that infinite stream of wisdom where it's like, it just keeps coming through. And it's just beautiful once you tap into that.
Yeah, totally. it's all right here, right? All this wisdom, knowledge is going to be activated within us over the years to come with every week that we move forward and we continue to increase in frequency. And it all right, it all starts with unpeeling the layers and healing. That's
Yeah,
it,
unpeeling. We have to.
yeah.
It's a must. You got to unpeel the layers for sure.
And,
That's how
and
you.
the breath is the most powerful way to move through this dense energy that we're going to be moving through um, over these coming years, because it's always there. It's always there for us to access.
It is. And it's all about getting back to this here now. It all comes back to the present moment, which is where it all is. So,
Yeah.
and our breath.
Yes,
Well,
that's right.
thank you. Thank you so much. This was awesome. As always, I always love doing videos with you. I love the energy. It's always fun. High vibe.
Yes, love you so much, Melissa. It was a pleasure being on.
Oh, I love you too.
And
Namaste.
Michelle loves you.